Fight one of them, you fight all of them. Hey.
What's cracking, G? It's your boy Koopa. You already know my channel about love, life, and loyalty. And I got a little information piece, a little informative piece for y'all today. So I hope y'all enjoy it. Like, comment, subscribe. Friday, May 5th, 3 men and a 16-year-old boy with all significant criminal juvenile backgrounds went on a nighttime robbery spree that accumulated in the murder of off-duty Chicago police officer Areanna Preston because one of their girlfriends wanted money for a barbecue. Judge Kelly held all four without bail on the bond hearing on Wednesday afternoon. Jaquan Buchanan, 18-year-old Jalen Frazier, 16-year-old and 19-year-old Travell Breland and Joseph Brooks were all charged with first-degree murder, armed robbery, burglary, possession of stolen motor vehicle, and other felonies. Buchanan, who has a carjacking case pending in juvenile court, was contacted by his girlfriend because she wanted money for a barbecue. The girlfriend and another female picked up the four accused Friday late night, and Buchanan took the wheel, driving the six of them to ride around and look for people to rob. All four of the males carried guns, wore black clothing, and had face covers that covered everything except their eyes and the bridges of their noses. Buchanan brought the car to a screeching halt in the 900 block of East 46th Street, and the four offenders got out with guns and robbed a woman who had just parked her vehicle. They took the woman's Louis Vuitton belt, credit card, and identifications, then forced her to unlock her phone and then stole her phone. A few minutes later, they decided to steal a red Kia Forte parked in the 4700 block of South Indiana. The women left in the other vehicle while the robbers searched for more victims while driving the red Kia. When they spotted a 62-year-old woman standing outside of South Wallace, talking with her son's girlfriend, at least three of the robbers jumped out the Kia, pushed her to the ground, and robbed her of her coach person's cell phone. Two of them robbed a man who had just returned home on the 9100 block of South Murrell. Around 1:42 a.m., Preston returned home from working her shift on the far south side of Chicago's police department. Surveillance video showed the red Kia rolling down the street, passing Preston's parked car, and then returning. As Preston stood near the sidewalk of her home, the Kia stopped and the video showed three offenders running towards her from the car. The video showed muzzles flashing from Preston and flashing from the offenders. Preston was struck by two bullets, one in her face and one in her neck as she collapsed to the ground. The group ran back to the Kia, but one of the offenders dashed over Preston's body and took her gun. The weapon has not been found, but Frazier allegedly told his mother that he sold the officer's weapon. The Chicago Police Department shot spotter immediately notified CPD of 9 gunshots detected in the exact same address where Preston was killed, but the first officer didn't even arrive to the scene more than 30 minutes after, and only after 911 dispatchers received an alert from the Preston's Apple Watch, which believed she had been in a traffic crash. CPD leaders refused to answer questions about the delayed response during the press conference on Wednesday morning.
She drove home up Stony Island, and when she got to her home and got out of her car, there were some individuals who wanted to take things from her.
At a City Club event Monday, Sergeant Vivian Williams giving more details on what happened early Saturday morning when the 24-year-old officer was gunned down.
Officer Preston was able to get off a couple of rounds. She fought. She was a fighter. She fought to be a good person. She fought to do things right. She fought to help this community. She gave her all.
Eyewitness News obtaining exclusive surveillance video from that morning. Neighbors say that's Officer Preston pulling up outside her Avalon Park home. She turns off the lights to her personal vehicle and crosses South Blackstone Avenue. That's when a dark car pulls up and stops. At least one person jumps out, then the car speeds off. Investigators say Preston, who was days away from graduating with her master's degree, laid in her family's front yard, shot multiple times.
81st in Blackstone, we got a person shot. It's an off-duty PO. Get an ambulance here now.
Sunday night, SWAT team surrounded a home near 77th and Bishop. The ABCI team learning 2 men and 2 women have been arrested in connection to Officer Preston's death. They're in custody, but no formal charges have been filed yet.
Investigators found 11 shell cases at the scene. 2 were near Preston and the other were near the robbers where they stood from the vehicle. DNA testing of the cases found 3 profiles that are consistent with Preston, Buchanan, and Breland. 4 minutes after the shooting, the group parked the red Kia on the 7100 block of South Eberhard and then walked away. Some of them are accused of returning a few minutes later, setting the vehicle on fire using lighter fluid. While police were investigating the Kia fire, they saw a parked vehicle that was illegally parked with no license plates. It was the exact same car Buchanan's girlfriend picked the robbers up to start the crime spree off. Investigators found the first robbery victim's identification and her credit cards in the vehicle. Saturday evening, Frazier called a friend and told them the murder of the officer was his work. Frazier allegedly told the friend about what happened, and then the friend took the information to the police department. Working with investigators, the friend called Frazier on the speakerphone and detectives listened in. Working with the investigators, the friend called Frazier on speakerphone as detectives listened in. Frazier again admitted to the crimes, revealing details that had not been released to the public. On Sunday, Buchanan called his ex-girlfriend asking can he stay at her house to lay low. He ordered her an Uber and she went to pick him up from Breland's home on 7600 South Bishop. Law enforcement had set up surveillance on Breland's home and then pulled over the Uber seconds after Buchanan climbed inside. Buchanan, wearing the first robbery victim's Louis Vuitton belt, crawled over his ex-girlfriend to get out the Uber, telling officers he had a gun. The weapon tucked in his waistband was equipped with a loaded extended magazine and a switch to turn into fully automatic fire. Officers found an unloaded gun in the Uber's back seat. Police determined the 9 shells casings found at Preston's murder was ejected by this weapon. The weapon also had fingerprints from Brooks, Breland, and Buchanan. Buchanan yelled a warning down the street to his friends inside Breland's home, but cops surrounded the house and took everyone into jail after a long SWAT standoff. Buchanan, in addition to having carjacking cases pending in juvenile court, was adjudicated delinquent from robbery in 2019 and criminal trespass the vehicle in 2019, 2021, and 2022. He is the 8th person accused of killing and trying to kill someone in Chicago this year. Still awaiting trial, the case involved 11 victims and 6 whom died. Brooks, who officials said admitted to killing Preston when she reached for her gun during the robbery, was adjudicated delinquent from aggravated vehicle hijacking last year, armed robbery in 2021, 2019, theft in 2020 and 2019, and 3 more robberies in 2019. Law enforcement source said Brooks and Buchanan are by far the top 10 profile juvenile carjackers over the last 2 years. Frazier is on juvenile probation for armed robbery. His previous juvenile adjudication case included unlawful use of a weapon, possession of a stolen motor vehicle, and robbery in 2022 and 2019. Breland is on adult probation for unlawful use of a weapon. As a juvenile, he was adjudicated delinquent for possession of a stolen motor vehicle, aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, robbery, aggravated battery, and disorderly conduct. Let me say this real quick before I give my final thoughts on the situation. But yeah, sorry y'all if the video seemed a little choppy. I was in a rush and had some other things going on. Then I had it was something going on outside, so I was trying to like hurry it up so y'all couldn't hear what was going on in the background, so I'm sorry about that. But anyway, my final thoughts is it's crazy that, you know, I'm always out here defending Chicago when I get into it with Texas people about it, because they always got the worst things to say. But that's anybody that's not from Chicago or, you know, Houston, Detroit, you know, LA, Baton Rouge, you know what I'm saying? Places where, you know, the murder rates are up there or the crimes are real heinous. But, you know, it's just crazy when stuff like this come out, because it's like, what can you say? You know, the lady was on her way home, and then, you know, these fools, they didn't even have a real reason. I'm not saying it's the real reason to be out there robbing, but it's way greater reasons that's more understandable to go and take property from other people. But these fools out here stealing money to have a barbecue, which it just sounds so stupid. Honestly, it sounds stupid to the fact of 3 of them was grown men. The 16-year-old I can understand because he just being stupid. I'm not saying understanding him robbing. I'm just saying I could believe a 16-year-old compared to a bunch of grown men. But yeah, this case reminds me about what happened back, what was it, August 7th? Yeah, it was August 7th of 2021 when Officer Ella French got killed. same scenario, you know. Well, no, actually not same scenario. I'll take that back. She was actually doing a traffic stop on a car full of people, and one of the fools decided to just immediately pop her. They just shot her, and they shot her partner, and the partner, I believe he made it, but she died on the scene. And this case with Areanna, if I'm saying her name right, forgive me if I'm not saying it right, but Areanna, this shows something that people outside Chicago don't know about. So in Chicago, when people, you know, get into shootouts or shooting happens, a lot of cops, they go the opposite direction, or they wait until it's all over with and then make their way. So the officers, yeah, they probably didn't even know it was her that got killed, but they just looked at it like, oh, okay, a shooting, like every other day, and probably didn't even rush over there. But once they realized like it was a fellow officer, it all changed, but it was too late. That officer should have never arrived there 30 minutes after the shooting. It's too many officers. If you're in Chicago, you see it's a lot of police everywhere. Every time I go back, because I go back almost every other month, if not every month to visit, the police are everywhere. So it made no sense that the I was forgetting the name. I did not know it was called a spot shot or whatever. That thing, I always called it a police box. But when I was a kid coming up, probably around the time when I was 12 or 13, Chicago started having these big old little boxes, and they do the blue lights on the top, and it says CPD, and it has a ball camera at the bottom that's rotating, and it's recording everything. And once any type of, you know what I'm saying, crimes happen, it sends a message off to the police department. How did that tell that it was 9 shots let off right there, and it took the man 30 minutes to get there? You know, but we're gonna just let them keep investigating. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, sit here and try to say what the police doing and what's going on. No, I'm gonna let the, you know, let the community and let the department figure that part out, but I'm gonna definitely be watching. But honestly, I look at it like this was messed up. It was messed up. That woman lost her life, and she did everything to be successful in this world. That's what makes it even worse. When you have somebody that works really hard to be so successful and be, you know, be something in life, loses their life from people that had no meanings of being successful. I'm not saying these boys couldn't change and get that evil out their heart, but it's hard to look at it when all of y'all was damn near on probation, had a lot of charges on y'all, and then y'all out here just armed robberying people. Especially y'all robbed a 62-year-old lady, pushed her to the ground, robbed her. Come on now, man, that ain't gangster. None of that stuff was gangster. But you know, they wanted to think that stuff was cool. And then as for the one that sat there and called his friend to brag about it, you deserve to be in there, bro. You deserve to be in there, bro. You was a straight clown. Because not only you told the person about what happened, they call you back hours later, you still bragging about it. And that's why you got all y'all caught. They already had y'all fingerprints, so y'all was caught already. But you solidified the roles and what took place. And now, y'all finna hit Division 9 in Cook County, sit there for about a month, and then realize, like, damn, this is about to be the rest of my life. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. But man, I'm not gonna lie, man, this was a crazy story. And shout out to my cousin Keith. He out there over east. He hit me up talking about I should do this story. I told him I'll look into it. And once I looked into it, I was like, man, bro, these I'm trying not to curse, so these MFers is dumb. That's all I gotta say. They dumb. That was just so stupid, bro. To have a barbecue. Now y'all giving people that's racist out there a leg up on us to say, oh yeah, they killed somebody over a barbecue. Like they gonna, you know, they gonna chop and butcher up the story when they talk to their friends and family. Yeah, they killed somebody over money for a barbecue. Like it's just gonna look bad on my community, and it's sad to see it because you got a lot of black folks that get into it with other black folks about y'all leaving the community instead of building our community up. It's kind of hard to stay and want to build the community up when the community gonna kill you. That's just, let's be real. The community gonna rob and hurt your people. The community might, you know what I'm saying, murder you in your front yard after you just got out of work. But hey, one thing for sure. Usually when an officer get killed in Chicago, oh man, them police turn up. They start knocking everybody down. Everybody go to jail. People that's from that crew, that know that crew, that's in that crew neighborhood, people that's repping the same nations as them crews, they all finna be getting harassed and bullied, and rightfully so. Cause if somebody did this to your family member, you just gonna sit back? But man, hey, it's your boy Cooper. My channel about love, life, and loyalty. And some of my homies say knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Catch y'all on the next one.